North Star. That way. And what's those that way? Canaanland moves. Read off we pay every day. Uplift the fee cause we all base. We enforce the law and we obey. Forefathers from before is still today. Reading my Quran and my Torah. Universal laws in more ways. Read 4 chapters, receive it 4 ways. Great divine love rules our verse. Before I circle blocks, man, I circle 7s first. You bust the image, but your rhymes hurt. Declare 13 disrespected earth. Love, but it's all in God's plan. Today's mathematics don't judge a man. Unity of life, embodiment of truth. I'm responsible for every deed cause I seen the proof. Nobu Juali X. Do I have to draw it out for you? Cause nationality is not a color I can use. Jerry Spruce, standing on my square, even without shoes. On the highest authority, spirit of blue. Marcus Coffee, whirlwind times 2. The world's in the wind when the trumpet blew.
Stand up, go into your bathroom. If you got a big floor to ceiling, cut the light on and stand and take a good hard look at yourself. You are the worst government. You know, and it took me a long time to get to understand that concept. I self-law am master. If I can govern myself, if I can govern my household, that's what I should be doing. Why should I walk out of my door and then leave everything that I know about myself in the house to go out and adopt something that I have no knowledge thereof?
Raka! North Star. That way. And what's those that way? Canaanland moves. Read off we pay every day. Uplift the fee cause we all base. We enforce the law and we obey. Forefathers from before is still today. Reading my Quran and my Torah. Universal laws in more ways. Read 4 chapters, receive it 4 ways. Great divine love rules our verse. Before I circle blocks, man, I circle 7s first. You bust the image, but your rhymes hurt. Declare 13 disrespected earth. Love, but it's all in God's plan. Today's mathematics don't judge a man. Unity of life, embodiment of truth. I'm responsible for every deed cause I seen the proof. Nobu Juali X. Do I have to draw it out for you? Cause nationality is not a color I can use. Jerry Spruce, standing on my square, even without shoes. On the highest authority, spirit of blue. Marcus Coffee, whirlwind times 2. The world's in the wind when the trumpet blew.
Stand up, go into your bathroom. If you got a big floor to ceiling, cut the light on and stand and take a good hard look at yourself. You are the worst government. You know, and it took me a long time to get to understand that concept. I self-law am master. If I can govern myself, if I can govern my household, that's what I should be doing. Why should I walk out of my door and then leave everything that I know about myself in the house to go out and adopt something that I have no knowledge thereof? Offense. So we need to stop asking that question. I ask myself this question: if not me, then who?
Death and wisdom, my friends, intelligent creatures, guardians of sacred knowledge, Olmeccan features, secrets of the afterlife, manifest the present day. Dirty moths and scoundrels lose their heads in a pleasant way. Deceit and deception, negative past thoughts, keeps awareness on point, spirit messages never off, inner realizations, encounter the higher selves, next plane existence, explains my consistence. Without a foe you never know, so paths most resistant. Divinity, my twin flame, side chick and mistress, metaphysic, Kabbalistic, Almaroc mystic, patriarch, papistics, make my thoughts sadistic, so indigenous, call me Americanistic, invoking the ancestors, Saracen cryptic, suns on rotation, flows ecliptic, shatter all illusions, reveal the realistic, sitting in the dark, holding the light marvelous, recognize the artifice, skin so carbonous, hair so antenna, I feel them from Vienna, myriad of virtues, lessons in reptilian henna, enlightenment seekers won't find it in mainstream, focus as a laser, stay balanced like a beam, not even a gymnast, whenever I flip this, as above so below, get out when within this, don't think I'm a slave cause I speak in English, Juali the water, watch your flames get extinguished, living in your higher lower self is relinquished, reputation of master teachers, call it distinguished.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gate Cemetery, February the 4th day. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes it a little of a lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. I'll keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Rob Bass, mixing with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets told me up right, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Sorbet, repping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J. Israel. And Nobu Juali in plain sight, but people still can't see it, so the snake's still showing up.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gate Cemetery, February the 4th day. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes it a little of a lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. I'll keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Rob Bass, mixing with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets told me up right, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Sorbet, repping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J. Israel. And Nobu Juali in plain sight, but people still can't see it, so the snake's still showing up. Stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death dip in slavery.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gate Cemetery, February the 4th day. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes it a little of a lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. I'll keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Rob Bass, mixing with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets told me up right, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Sorbet, repping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J. Israel. And Nobu Juali in plain sight, but people still can't see it, so the snake's still showing up. Stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death dip in slavery. Looking for light, the book of Genesis. Astroplane entrances, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life. Finish him.
Morris Omar, key man or oracle, using Trinity powers, decipher allegorical, lost and metaphorical, holy books are metaphysic, fact slap a dirty more or a Juali crate, calling him Thomas or Walter and get your face caved, or cut like a close shave, drowned in my brainwaves.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Bury me in the North Gate Cemetery, February the 4th days. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes it a little of a lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. I'll keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Rob Bass, mixing with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets told me upright, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Sorbet, rapping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J. Israel. Had Nobu Juali in plain sight, but people still can't see it. So the snake's still showing up, stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death grip of slavery. Looking for light, the book of Genesis. Astroplane entrances, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life. Finish him.
Morris Omar, key man or oracle. Using Trinity powers, decipher allegorical. Lost and metaphorical, holy books are metaphysic. Fact slap a dirty more or a Juali critic. Calling him Thomas or Walter and get your face caved. Or cut like a close shave. Drowned in my brain waves, squashed by heat waves. Activating Kundalini. Abyssinia invaded by Mussolini. Selassie I in exile. Reptile in Genesis, niggas appearing real. All I see is false evidence. VAR feminists, stomped on by elephants. Won't let go prejudice, but want Moorish benefits. When you feel the cold magnetic resonance. Apis horns of the sacred book called Maleficent. Great cosmic mothers, return to blessedness. No pestilence, ace all the testaments. Tap into remembrance, never to forget again. Use energy right, not put spell effects on men. Wandering the earth plane with no veil of shades. Keeps you a mental slave as the horizon fades. It's been decades since Christian crusades. Not enough rebellions, too many vigil bouquets. Holding on to the fence, burning on doomsday. War ruled by Mars, it might be on a Tuesday.
Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick. What we do here is we add some common sense thinking to everyday situations or comments that may arise. Want to give it a try?
Bet they won't. Bet you they won't dare give it a try. Honors to all the Moors. FYI, if you're in the chat, just know that I can't see the chat because you already know how it goes. So, if you got a question, push the button. But I can't see anything in the chat. Let everybody else know when they get in here. Don't be leaving anything in the chat because they can't read the chat. Because chat's not moving. Just so you know. There's usually way more hearts and flames and all that stuff when when we put on the L fire, with the common sense quickie drops, there's absolutely no way that there's no hearts and no flames and no 100s going up the side. There's no way. So we know that they're playing. We know they're playing. We know that they're playing. Telling you, we know they're playing games with you. Not playing games with Mars, because we already know what's up. Not confused. We already know what's up. So Gold Empress is talking crazy. Talking crazy. And again, going back to these toxic mothers out here who we want the mothers to come give them a drop kick in their back. Because if we do it, they're going to complain. Why are they treating women like that? And the women and all this stuff. And then when the brothers sell out, why is that your brothers? They're your brothers. You don't want unity with the Moors? No, we don't. We told you people yesterday, we throw traitors on the wall for target practice. That's what traitors are for. That's what you do with traitors. You don't play friends with them. You don't go have tea and crumpets at their house. You don't take gifts from them. You don't do that with traitors and sellouts. You eliminate them. And since, just so people don't start talking crazy, since we can't eliminate them because we know that they all sold out. And the reason we can't is because we know that them and their family are sellouts too, and they're going to go call highwaymen and all that stuff. We're just going to build a fire over there, and then we're just going to throw all these people in the fire, and you deal with it. I'm not going to put any hands and feet and all that stuff on anybody, because we all know all these people are snitch culture people. We know that they're snitch culture people. Run and tell people. We know that they're the run and tell people. So here comes this toxic mother learning from some goofball named Yusuf L. Not Yusuf Matadi L. Not that Yusuf. This other supreme grand sheep belly Yusuf. He's getting so fat that he's getting fat. And people still giving him finance. No, he's still giving him finance. When he's getting fat. Last time I saw he was in a helicopter or something like that. That's how fat he got off of raping people, telling them fill out IRS forms and UCC forms and all that. That's how fat these people got. That they got helicopters right now. Or they got friends with helicopters or something. Take this up with Yusuf L and see what you get. We don't take anything up with Yusuf L. We know he's a sellout. We've been through him on the flames. He's ashes. You people listening to ashes teach you something. I don't know. But you people are tripping. Telling me about some Yusuf L. As if he's a Moor or something. He's not a Moor. That's a nigger with L. That's a nigger. That's a student of Taj Tariq Bey that was in the whole realm of the commerce and all that stuff. And as soon as Taj Tariq Bey told them dangers of the UCC and shut down all that UCC talk, all of them stopped repping for Taj Tariq Bey immediately. And then they went down their lane of the commerce, whatever, that they're fat right now, eating off of your incompetence. Eating. That they got helicopters right now. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? Moors don't even have their own school. This one Moor has a helicopter. And then this other Moor over here, he's claiming mansions. But Moors don't even have their own garden. Moors don't even have their own garden, but they got helicopters. And telling you that that's the way to do stuff because we're Moors. And you got to be in the private. You got to be in the private because we're Moors. And Juali said uplift fallen humanity? I thought uplift fallen humanity is public. How's uplift fallen humanity private? How's being a Moor private when you have to engage the public as a Moor? Juali said, take your place amongst the affairs of men. Are the affairs of men private? No. The affairs of men are public. When you do commerce, are you doing commerce private behind some door or something like that? The deal might be behind some door. But that's not private. Because after you make your deal, you're going to have some public thing that you're going to have out here saying that the LLC and whatever like that. That's public. I thought you people were private. How are you private, but you're asking people for finance who are public? How are you asking people for finance that are public, but you're claiming you're private? Just a friendly reminder that the Constitution of the United States of America does not apply to U.S. citizens. U.S. citizens have no constitutional rights. Please stop arguing about the Constitution and how the government officials are not following it. You must operate in a private capacity. How are you operating in a private capacity if your name is John Jackson? How are you operating in a private capacity when you filed a UCC-1 with the colonists, because that's the colonist form, in order to claim a straw man, which is a colonist certificate, and then claim you're private when you're dealing with the public people? The public fraud. Fraud so in the open right now, we don't know what the hell's wrong with you people. Oh yeah, we do know. You don't study. You think you know something because you went to this guy's course over here for 500 notes and he had a chain on and he came out the Maserati. So that means he's a rich Moor. No, he's not. That's a nigger. That's a nigger with a fez on. That's a nigger with a turban on playing you. That's what that is. We don't listen to niggers. We listen to Moors. And Moors are noble. Moors are noble. Moors aren't a package seller. Moors are not a package seller. Moors are noble. And ain't nobody noble gonna be doing that in the private, because you want everybody to know your works that you're doing. You're not hiding to be noble. But why are they doing the private stuff? So they could hide and play you. And then because it's private, you can't tell anybody, because your mind, you're thinking that there's some separate thing. And then, so if it's a separate thing, why are they asking you for debt notes? That comes from U.S. Corps. Why don't they have their own currency that they're asking you for? Well, they don't have their own currency. Okay, so if they don't have their own currency, why are you listening to these people telling you something? What they got for you if they don't even have their own currency? Well, Moors don't have their own currency. Moors' currency is knowledge. We have the currency. Just go to any Moors house. Bet you they have a wall library. And then books all over the place. Can't even find anywhere to walk. Moors have currency. Our currency is knowledge. Our currency isn't some external BS. That's not our currency. Currency is energy. And energy is unseen. How the hell you telling me currency is because you did some commerce with this guy over here and then you exchange papers? You better FOH. The reason why we're doing this right here, because I was on one of these people's lives the other day and listening to the BS that they be putting out now, calling it being Moors. Listening to BS. And then this mother was on there. And nobody's rebutting anything that these people are saying. They're just neck jerking, just agreeing with it. Just agreeing with it. Oh yeah, oh wow. Oh, I never heard that before. Wow, that was amazing or whatever like that. Oh yeah, you gotta go. And then we got the trust and then all this stuff like that. So she's telling everybody in the story, come study with her. So I'm like, all right, let's see what's good. Let's see what we're studying. So click the thing. And we're studying this literature that's telling you about U.S. Forms. U.S. Forms? They're private. Why are you talking about U.S. Forms? If they're private, why are you talking about IRS? And the IRS Form 571587, and then you're going to control your estate. You fill out an IRS form. You fill out some UCC form. Well, UCC Section 9, verse 2825, and you fill out this form, and then you can claim the property. And then all of them are doing this in Negro, black, colored names. Or they're doing it under some fake Indian tribe name. Or they're doing it under some BS LLC, some corporation that they made up in order for them to exercise their rights. That's why we tell people rvbaypublications.com.
Because when you go to rvbaypublications.com, right, you get the actual download of what you're really supposed to know, so you can realize that people are playing with you, and they're going to be playing with you because you keep wanting to listen to people instead of going and studying. And we already told you numerous times, RV Bay Publications is the Moorish online university. So if you want to know anything about Moors, go there and stay there and study for 2 years. No, you don't want that. You want to go listen to the fur coat Moors. That's who you want to listen to, the fur coat Moors. All right. United States government, under oath, denies IRS is an agency of the government. Denies. Right? Betty H. Richardson, United States Attorney General, Attorney's Office, Box 32, Richard R. Ward, Trial Attorney, Tax Division, U.S. Department of Justice. Attorneys for the United States of America. In the United States District Court for the District of Idaho, Diversified Metal Products, Plaintiff versus Tebow Company Trust, Internal Revenue Service, and Steve Morgan, defendants. The United States of America, through undersigned counsel, hereby respond to the numbered paragraphs of plaintiff's complaint as follows. The United States is without information or knowledge sufficient to form a belief as to the truth of the allegations contained in paragraph 1 on the basis denies the allegations. 2. The United States is without information or knowledge sufficient to form a belief as the truth of the allegations contained in paragraph 2 on that basis denies the allegations. 3. The United States is without information or knowledge sufficient to form a belief as to the truth of the allegations contained in paragraph 3 and on that basis denies the allegation. Denies that the Internal Revenue Service is an agency of the United States government, but admits that the United States of America would be a proper party to this action. Admits that the IRS had served a notice of levy on plaintiff for funds owed to defendant Steve Morgan. Levy on plaintiff for funds owed? But all these people are supposed to be Constitution people. Well, the Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, says the Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and exercises to pay the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States. Why are you dealing with IRS? Aren't you constitutional people? Aren't these the same people telling you the Constitution, the supreme law, the land, and all that stuff? Okay, so why are they going to the IRS and using their forms with regard to finance? Didn't they just tell you that U.S is a corpse and all that stuff? You don't want nothing to do with that? Okay, well, IRS has nothing to do with U.S, so why are you even dealing with them? Why are you dealing with them? And we're talking about any tax whoever's in North America that are European colonists. Any tax whoever's, not just IRS only. Anybody telling you pay tax, Guarantee you they're a European colonial foreigner in North America. Guaranteed. Why are you using their forms if you're constitutional and Constitution says Congress deals with taxes? You never questioned these people? You just went to the class just because they had a fez on and a turban on, so that means they know what they're talking about? Selling you out to U.S. Corps, which is not even selling you out to U.S. Corps, because when you check IRS, they even have nothing to do with U.S. They're a separate entity altogether. So again, we ask the people, why are you listening to these sellouts and traders telling you to do forms that come from a corporation that doesn't even have anything to do with government? Hold on a second. Trapped on an insane planet.com. Trapped on an insane planet.com. Henry Bellarmine, Senator, 1969. In a recent conversation with the official at the Internal Revenue Service, I was amazed when he told me that if taxpayers of this country ever discover that the IRS operates on 90% bluff, the entire system would collapse. Shirley Peterson, IRS Commissioner, April 1993. The key question is, can we define income in a fair and reasonable, straightforward manner? Unfortunately, we have not succeeded in doing so. T. Coleman Andrews, Commissioner of Internal Revenue, May 25th, 1956. I don't like the income tax. Every time we talk about these taxes, we get around to the ideas of from each according to his capacity and each according to his needs. That's socialism. It is written into the Communist Manifesto. Maybe we ought to see that every person who gets a tax return receives a copy of the Communist Manifesto with it so he can see what's happening to him. So you can see what's happening to you by your own people over here who's telling you $500 for some course for them to teach you how to fill out some forms that's coming from a foreign entity of colonists that are raping your people, been raping your people, and more so, raped your ancestors using the same forms. And now you're listening to these sellouts tell you, use these same forms from these people who aren't even government. President Ronald Reagan, 1983. Our federal tax system is, in short, utterly impossible, utterly unjust, and completely counterproductive. It reeks with injustice and is fundamentally un-American. It has earned a rebellion, and it's time we rebelled. Oh, but you're not going to listen to Reagan because that's the white man. Right? The white man who was an actor that became a president. And then you're playing around like these people are government. Why would an actor be a president and you think that this is government? How dense are you? How dense have you become? You're so dense that you're listening to some nigger with a fez or a turban on, or a fedora, or whatever the F these people are going to wear to rope you in because you're dumb. And they're going to convince you that there's no United States government or whatever like that. We got to be in this private capacity, but we're going to use these public forms in this private capacity in order to keep our stuff private. But you live in a shithole and they ride around in helicopters. You can't figure out where your finance is coming from for the next meal, but they got an exemption account and charging you $500 for a class. You know everybody did the UCC one, so you know everybody has the exemption account, right? Then the credit, discharge debts and all that stuff. So if they're the masters of discharge debt, why are they asking you for finance? Shouldn't they just discharge whatever fee they're charging you for the course? If they have an exemption account and all that stuff, if they did the UCC one, authenticate the birth certificate and all that stuff, then why are you paying them? And then you're paying them, and then they're showing you how to fill out some IRS forms. And then you think you're free. When the federal tax system is utterly impossible, it's utterly unjust, and completely counterproductive. So why are you doing contracts with them? If they're that, why are you doing contracts with them, one? And two, if they're that, why are these people who look just like you convincing you to go through them to get your freedom, to get your liberation, to get your commercial capacity as a secured party creditor and all? Why are you going to these people who have an unjust and counterproductive, impossible, utterly disgusting, because it reeks with injustice system? And then you're going to claim that you're the American. Well, if you're American, why are you with some people doing their forms that are un-American? You big dummy. Don't you feel like a big dummy right now? That they never told you that Ronald Reagan, who's the president of people's stuff and all that stuff that they're claiming, right? So they never told you that Reagan told these people that the federal tax system, which is anybody having to do with IRS, anything having to do with that, anything coming from that, anything made by that, is fundamentally un-American, but these Americans are going to them to use their forms. You can't tell me that's not a contradiction. And then if it's a contradiction like that, if it's a bold-faced contradiction like that, then it's the people, right? Because, IRS been here. They ain't just come yesterday. They've been here since what, 33? And then they're going to tell you BS about, the Jekyll's Island and they created, and the IRS is the, so if these are the people who created the Frankenstein and all that stuff, then why you Frankenstein's tearing the place up? Everybody's mad because why did they create this monster? Then why are you riding with these people's forms? How are you riding with the people who created Frankenstein and their forms? And then want to tell Moors that we're the ones that in error because we don't know contracts and we don't know commerce and all this stuff when you're contracting with the people who murdered your ancestors? All right, we see what you're on. We see what you're on. So again, Moors already know that it's a game. We already know it's a game. We already know that you're played. We already know that you're played. They'll give you everything. They'll give you all this BS, but they're never going to give you wise, trusty handbook. And if they give it to you, they're not going to tell you that wise, trusty handbook is literally all you need, and you don't even need to pay $500 for these people's course. But no, it's okay, because why are we here? We're here to turn over the table of the money changers. That's what we're here for. We're here to make their helicopter crash. That's what we're here for. We're here to make their crash their Maserati. Because they're selling out the people and getting fat off selling out the people. If a guy has an exemption account and can discharge debts, there's no way you should be paying for anything, just like you shouldn't be paying for anything from U.S. You should be able to go and just go in the store and take the stuff off the shelf. Everything's paid for. They should be giving you all this information for free. But if they do that, then they're going to have to go get a job. They're going to go have to be noble at that point. These people don't want to be noble. They're vampires. They're bloodsuckers. And guess who they're sucking? You. And then guess who's sucking them? The same people who they're telling you, oh, you've been in a private capacity, so they're not going to be able to steal your stuff. As soon as you die, your stuff's gone. What are you talking about? Because guarantee you, the people whose name you're putting in these contracts that you're doing with these people, I bet you they're a dumb nigger. And they don't know jack about what you're talking about. Matter of fact, they've been telling you that you're full of BS. Get off that sovereign stuff and all that stuff. There's the conspiracy, that cult that you join, and then you're going to make them the beneficiaries of the estate that you're claiming that you're setting up through these people who they're criminal. Good luck with that. U.S. Court of Appeals rules IRS cannot apply force against a taxpayer without a federal court order. Oh, hold on a second. U.S. Court of Appeals rules that IRS cannot apply force against a taxpayer without a federal court order? I thought they said the federal can't get involved with the state stuff when Rise of the Moors sued these people to say that they're violating the law. I thought they said, oh, the federal, we can't get involved with that. That's not our jurisdiction. So how is tax stuff their jurisdiction? How is tax stuff their jurisdiction? And then, how are they coming after you in order to get back some tax, whatever, without a federal court order? And then if they have no clout like that, once again, why the F is your own telling you to fill out these people's forms? Why are they telling you to fill out these foreigners' forms in order for you to be free? Why? They're telling you go fill out a foreigner's form. A colonist that came to this land, murdered your ancestors. They just registered their business in 1933. And you, who are the ancient Americans or whatever, are going to some 1933 people to go fill out some forms for you to claim estate. I thought you're ancient. I thought you guys were ancient. I thought you were ancient people. And when the Moors present the facts to show you, quoting from the decision, Schulz versus IRS, case number 040196, absent an effort to seek enforcement through a federal court, IRS summonses apply no force to taxpayers, and no consequence whatever can befall a taxpayer who refuses, ignores, or otherwise does not comply with an IRS summons until that summons is backed by a federal court order. A taxpayer cannot be held in contempt, arrested, detained, or otherwise punished for refusing to comply with the original IRS summons, no matter the taxpayer's reason or lack of reasons for refusing. You heard that? So if IRS has no clout whatsoever and everything that they send you is a fraud, why are you going filling out these people's forms? And why is it your own when you went to that idiot's dumbass class, you had a brother truth class and all that stuff? They tell you about commerce and fill out IRS forms and your dumbass is still broke. And then they got 5 different color fedoras or whatever. And they got Jordans to the ceiling. And you got five shoes. You got 5 shoes. You're shopping at the thrift store or whatever like that. And these people coming with new shirt and tie every day in their Zoom class with you. You big dummy. You don't see you're getting played? And the whole reason for them going through all this, right? The reason for them going through all this is to make sure, and they want to make sure, right? They want to make sure that you never know about Nobu Juali.
I have no intentions for my babies or my grandbabies to become nobody's nigger slaves no more. And our babies are going to be enslaved if you don't take a stand and defend your birthright. Nobu Juali. We know that our people have had the words of the prophet, but have got caught in rituals. The greatest of honor, the Nobu Juali, who shook the world. We know that we are the bloodline direct of all the prophets. For all of you are gods, and I told you and I showed you why. And I want to make it very clear, so there'll be no mistake. We are coming back home again. We didn't come here to be the boss. And I think all of you with pure hearts know that. But we came here with love and temperance and tolerance. Because you're the boss. We're not speaking to you. We're speaking with you. Understand this. The 12 signs of the zodiac, the numbers from 0 to 9, 26 letters of the alphabet, and geometry is the principles that govern civilization. If you couldn't say that, you haven't studied.
All about Nobu Juali. Because if they didn't tell you about Juali, they can't tell you about trust. They can't tell you about commerce. They can't tell you about national anything. They can't tell you about private. They can't tell you about who the government is and all that stuff if they're not telling you about Nobu Juali. Every one of these people teaching you all this BS about fill out some IRS forms for your freedom should have a big picture of Nobu Juali behind them when they start doing their live stuff. But if they do that, they already know that people are going to be asking them, hey, who's that guy behind you? Like, who is that? I've never seen that guy ever. All this black stuff they've been pushing, all this Indian stuff, Chief Golden Feather, who was the last chief of the black whoever's. They know all of them. They never told you about Nobu Juali. And I guarantee you, if you're sitting there and you're saying, I never heard about Nobu Juali before, or I heard about Nobu Juali, I bet your next stuff is going to be that it's some religious stuff. Bet you. Bet you whatever perspective you got of Nobu Juali deals with some type of Islamic whatever religion BS. He was a social reformer. He was a revolutionary. He was Fred Hampton and all them. He wasn't a religious guy. He said Islam, so that means he's religious. No, it doesn't. You don't even know what the hell Islam is. Your nigger leaders never told you. How come your nigger leaders never told you about Nobu Juali? How come your commerce course people only tell about Nobu Juali from some perspective? Well, he told us that we're free people. No, he didn't. He told you that you're not Negro, black, colored, and that we're Moors. He told you don't call yourself slave name. That name belongs to a slave. And it came from slave masters. All that Ben Franklin Johnson, all them forms, all them IRS forms you're filling out, that you have European names on it. You think we don't see you people? We see you people. I thought you're private. Why you got a European name? Why you got a European name on your IRS forms? Talking about estate planning. What estate planning? Planning to lose your estate. Planning. This is planning to lose your estate planning. People are playing you. And you're going to keep getting played because you don't want to hear what true Moors are saying. You want to look at Moors like we're the problem. No. Right? No, we're not the problem. It's these people that are the problem. It's these people right here. These toxic mothers that need to get kicked in their back by another mother. These are the ones. Because we called them out yesterday for being sellouts, not wearing their turbans and fezzes and all that stuff. And now they're posting pictures, posting videos of them in a winter jacket in August. You see, we wear our fez and turban. Yeah, you're also wearing a winter jacket in August. Why are you wearing a winter jacket in August? Or are you lying? Are you lying? You're not wearing no turban and fez. You brought some video from winter time with you wearing that on and put it up in the summer and think Moors are dumbasses. Wearing a damn winter jacket talking about you wear fezzes and turbans. It's August, you big dummy. And then all you big dummies who liked it. Yes, go, you go, sis. You go, sis. One of the mothers, please drop kick this toxic lady in her back, please. Please. But then you go live. Every time they're live, they got their afro out and all this. Right? They got cleavage showing. They're showing you cleavage. That's what the lesson is about. Their cleavage. They're gonna go live. In a class, we're gonna teach you about trust and the commerce of the whatever, and then the cleavage showing. Ain't nobody paying attention to your ass. Hell's paying attention to you. Don't forget, I think it's tonight when you could go and look at the dummies. Look at me, people. Make sure you go to their stuff like a big dummy. Make sure you go take notes and go apply everything that they say. Make sure you go. Don't forget. Go listen to these toxic mothers trying to convince you about something. About some women's auxiliary or something. What are they convincing you about? People are sellouts. People are sellouts. Tell you nationality doesn't matter. They're only Moors when it's convenient to fool you. But their name is Rod Hayes. But they're Moors. How you Moor and your name's Rod? Your name is Roderick. You got a European slave name. Tell me that you're Moors. You know European slave name's supposed to be in America. Maybe if you want to go back to Europe, you could go pull that BS off over there. Well, the last names of the Moors on the coat of arms, yeah, that's in Europe. That ain't in America. That's in Europe. That's going on. Over here, Moors have free national names in the Americas. We're not dumb nigger. Only people with European names is dumb nigger. Because why would you know that's a European name that came from slavery and then you keep that name? Why would you keep that? Are you dumb? That's a slave name. And then you're going to go do contracts with people under the slave name. And then when you die, they steal your stuff anyways because you're a dumbass. So you didn't want to hear what Nobu Juali said. Rod Hayes is going to tell you in 1621 the word Indian was substituted for Moorish and underline it for you. But he's Hayes though. And we're going to listen to him because he's Hayes. And he said he's a Moor. He never show you no ID or anything like that they're Moors. He show you no paperwork. He ain't talking about Nobu Juali. He telling you about NOI and all of them. Watch what they're doing. See how they did it? That's how we're supposed to do it. They tell you about Aboriginal Indigenous Act. The Aboriginal Indigenous Act. And then you can go there, exercise a self-determination and all that stuff. And then I telling you that stuff gets its authority from the UN declarations, which say you have a right to a nationality. You have a right to a nationality. But so why are they depriving you of your nationality by telling you it doesn't matter what we call ourselves whatever. We're going to go fill out these IRS forms and we're going to go get freedom filling out some IRS forms in a European name. You got Kente cloth on and you were in feathers and all that stuff talking about Kenny Thomas. And Ken. And this is Barbie. And we're in the private, but we just got married yesterday. We used the preacher man over there to get married. But we're Jenny. We're Jenny and all this BS. These people are here to play you. Because once you're not studying, once you don't have your own library, so you can study, you're done for. These people are going to get your finance some way, somehow. Whether they get it through their sellout nigger leader who's going to charge you $500 for the course, or whether they get it through after you die, steal everything back. Because you didn't want to hear what Moors are saying. You don't want to hear what Moors are saying. You want to listen to niggers with fezzes on, niggers with turbans. Right. That's what you want to listen to. Turban wearing niggers. Right? You want to listen to cake face people tell you about your rights and the law. Cake face? Somebody who can't even put on makeup properly is telling you about law and go to court? You for real? Somebody who can't even put on makeup proper, looking like a damn clown for real, is convincing you to listen to them, teach you, and then you're supposed to teach that stuff to your babies. Makeup line all crooked, stuff's not faded properly and all that. Right? We know about properly because it's not supposed to be wearing no damn makeup. That's all we know about properly. That's how I know so good that this makeup is trash. Because now you're supposed to be wearing the BS. I don't care if it's animal free and not been tested on animals and all that stuff. The hell you wearing makeup for? What are you hiding? Hiding. There's a countdown. Honest to all the Moors. If you didn't learn something, hit the DM and ask any questions. Like we told you, the chat was messed up. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to the Prophet Nobu Juali. Islam to all Moors.
with a chain on your brain, with niggas no playing. King Alpha plan, vaporize, nobody's laying. Got nations reclaiming republics back, constitution enforcing on the demo acts colored. Can't be a verse, I'm a more first. Won't claim to be ham and catch that pork curse. Following black power that lost debates. Slap Doc for having a lawyer, set the record straight. The Moors are back, burn your Nuwapian race. Pushing Malachi York with no Ellis fake. Allah's temple of Islam, perpetrate the fraud. Push Drew to the back, uplifting fraud. Claiming to be Lord, get thrown overboard. Dirty Moors talk, I walk cause y'all overboard. Got sisters' heads under, not over swords. Camera clutch minds with hope and thoughts. Iron sheep knowing, all niggas believing. Candyman was the master, not Steven. Odds aren't in their favor and not even. Rappers think the MCs are not even. A lot of you folks are conscious jokes. Moors, Rich, CC, The Hague, and retiring popes. Send me a message, I don't reply to pokes. I live the prophet lessons, I don't parrot his quotes. Slavery been overshadowed, still wearing the yokes. No gold or silver or land is back in the notes. IRS, CRA, demand you to pay tax with no conscience when they're not Congress. Falling for bomb threats and other nonsense. Like rappers' lives, they exercise only onsets. This is Fezzes, it's not Genesis. 4 quadrants around 7 are elements. This is Fezzes, it's not Genesis. Moorish MC, magnetic resonance. This is Fezzes, it's not Genesis. Mike imagination heights, Bud Pegasus. This is Fezzes, it's not Genesis. Moorish MC of great eminence. Papers and cars can't save minds enslaved. Just do like Cassius Clay. Correct your names like Yasin and Spraga. Adopt, elevate. Grow up, start garden, put the guard away. Prophet Juali said it all. The most I can say you won't understand. Ask Victoria, Monet, ask Nas. He said we thought like the colonists of Nobu Juali started dropping that consciousness, which means he knew he was no nigga and saw things clearer when he wiped off his mirror. I spit almorical rhymes. Who's iller? Genuine without the Miller Drive. Who's chiller? Keys drop, but some pull locks to open them. Waiting on walkers on water and floating men. Time to get awakened. No sleeping or waiting. Acting like you're sedated for operations. Bush Kush got mind shrinking, not dilating. Hear rappers' tracks, I get sick like smelling bacon. If I'm shopping, I'm copping broccoli. Being a Moor saying you're black is a mockery. No death threats or suits will be stopping me. Sight beyond sight, no obstacles blocking me. Stand strong and firm, nothing propping me. Iron chic, hip-hop pills, stop popping me. This is Fezzes, it's not Genesis. 4 quadrants around 7 are elements. This is Fezzes, it's not Genesis. Moorish MC, magnetic resonance. This is Fezzes, it's not Genesis. Mike imagination heights, Bud Pegasus. This is Fezzes, it's not Genesis. Moorish MC of great eminence.
I'm a membership seed. Welcome to the board meeting year round. 4 seasons, I'm gathered here for a reason. So let's throw the gods away. No idol worship consecrated. There's something wrong when the created God is not your favorite in your congregation. I'll never be a Christian more. Propagating the faith, you could be a victim of swords. I walk over the water, emotional tyranny. You say the B is for the spelling on the YouTube parodies. Apparently, we have to draw from scratch and see our artwork. Let's get it together, guys. Draw the image and sharpen. With the image of our people with businesses and commerce. Muhammad in our face and Juali begins to conquer. Make the capital, we be Chicago, it's decided. Oversized Temple of America business license. The heathen has to leave, so I fill up the water for him, fluoride in it. With my music playing, oh the horror. Praise the Father God, Allah, Yahweh, Eloah. Broken the yoke of our burden, and we're bound to get closer to the disclosure of the truth. Unlocking the hypnosis of the devils that had cultures to play the game with explosion. I'm with the harmonies of life, a mystical encounter. And my person, what they want with the contract on the counter. Amongst them other was territories, no pilgrimage. Children with the horns of cannon and membership.
This is Fezzes, it's not Genesis. 4 quadrants around 7 are elements. This is Fezzes, it's not Genesis. Moorish MC, magnetic resonance. This is Fezzes, it's not Genesis. Mike imagination heights, Bud Pegasus. This is Fezzes, it's not Genesis. Moorish MC of great eminence.
Huh? Who my nemesis? Well, there's evidence that they're trying to erase all of the remnants of my DNA. Can't trace my inheritance back to my Moorish ancestors who were prevalent on my premises. Yo, this residence, puppets on strings. We call them the surrogates. Kiss the ring of a prince. We setting precedents. Kiss the ring, I'm a prince. I'm setting precedents. Pay homage to a king. Never knows heaven sent. Sideline, watch us do a thing. No time for hesitance. We the ancients that descend. Don't care about being relevant. And ever since the genes of ISIS, authority from the wombs, always been priceless. So it's fitting that this tunes call as ISIS. Most waiting on the tomb to make things righteous. I'm aligning with the moon. Planning my light quest. Dominion from June cartoon. Made in her likeness, I was fed with a spoon. Before I could bite ya, yeah, you thought you were in tune. Your mind ain't right yet. Cauldron and broom, waiting on flight, that out the way, make room. This is our mic check, taking the fumes, you might even like it.
This is Fezzes, it's not Genesis. 4 quadrants around 7 heart elements. This is Fezzes, it's not Genesis. Moorish MC, magnetic resonance. This is Fezzes, it's not Genesis. Mike imagination heights, born Pegasus. This is Fezzes, it's not Genesis. Moorish MC of great eminence. What up, X? Yo. You two trolls catch my scimitar blade and turn snitch. Your man is your dog and your homegirl a bitch. Inquisition lies turn high priestess to witch. Burned at the stake, cooked like fish Escovitch. COINTELPRO are not pros but rookies. TikTok program makes young girls shake their cookies. Transgenders wanna be called proper pronouns. D-Wade's son turned daughter, pawn of the order. What up, X? Yo. You two trolls catch my scimitar blade and turn snitch. Your man is your dog and your homegirl a bitch. Inquisition lies turn high priestess to witch. Burned at the stake, cooked like fish Escovitch. COINTELPRO are not pros but rookies. TikTok program makes young girls shake their cookies. Transgenders wanna be called proper pronouns. D-Wade's son turned daughter, pawn of the order. Used for the rituals, niggas wearing capris. Slam dunk champ shorts are way above his knees. By yourself with 3 masks on, that's a disease. Most of y'all are crack fiends for vaccines. Giving passes to perv clones like Weinstein. While in your favorite actor had property on Epstein Island. Hollywood Kazaj, tribe of 13 wizards. Blowing lies make visibility pour like blizzards. With sins greater than 55 miles per hour, stupidity will surely get your minds devoured. Using your soul to quench the thirst of diabolic devils, then ignorance will rise past hyperbolic levels. Are you thinking, or is your mind controlled? Are you blinking, or is your first eye closed? Will you think and save yourself or fall victim? Will you fight back or keep getting your face kicked in? Are you thinking, or is your mind controlled? Are you blinking, or is your first eye closed? Will you think and save yourself or fall victim? Will you fight back or keep getting your face kicked in?
I put your head on the water and show you what's important. You need ear, of course, and more will appear. Anywhere I stand, Morocco is there. So no matter where I stand, my rights will be clear. The law of the land, signed by the air. Ooh, the true air. Ownership, caught up in color, you disown the ship. A black star with black people in it. Ship Garvey away before Juali boarded it. That's a smart plan by some hybrids. But the birds still fly with a message. A flag of culture, heritage. American Republic. Feeling like Carthage. You're driving cars, I'm riding elephants. You're thinking nothing relevant. Black before every statement, you're an agent. Need I say more? I'm in 7-Eleven. You're thinking corner stores. Human rights declared, but how they corner yours?
Are you thinking, or is your mind controlled? Are you blinking, or is your first eye closed? Will you think and save yourself or fall victim? Will you fight back or keep getting your face kicked in? Are you thinking, or is your mind controlled? Are you blinking, or is your first eye closed? Will you think and save yourself or fall victim? Will you fight back or keep getting your face kicked in?
First eye closed. Will you think and save yourself from falling victim? Are you thinking, or is your mind controlled? Are you blinking, or is your first eye closed? Will you think and save yourself from falling victim? Will you fight back or keep getting your face kicked in? Are you thinking, or is your mind controlled? Are you blinking, or is your first eye closed? Will you think and save yourself from falling victim? Will you fight back or keep getting your face kicked in?
They're a different group of people altogether, and they're not from here. So they can't stay. Had they won the war between the Fezzes and the Feathers, then they would have won and took over everything. And we would have forever been their slaves. I didn't feel like being nobody's slave for the rest of eternity. So
How you feel like being somebody's slave when you got a slave name? Rod Hayes isn't a name from this land over here. That's not a name from this land. Young Elder, that's not a name from this land over here. Tweety, that's Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes L, and you're taking this stuff serious? You really taking this stuff serious? You really taking this stuff serious? For real? And then we've been waiting for him to get in our inbox because one of the Moors already sent him a message and all that stuff. Well, you said that, Canaanland Moors are dirty Moors. Well, I know them, so why don't you, let's set up something and go live. Oh yeah, when I got time, I don't got time right now, but as soon as I got time, please. Time for what? Time for what? You don't have time. Moors bend over backwards to get a message from the Grand Sheik and to talk to the Grand Sheik and all that stuff. Grand Sheik for Moor Science Temple of America, Temple number 5, Canaanland, who Rod Hayes says are dirty Moors, could go live and tell everybody call in, push the button, and say something negative that Cujo did. Say something. Say something. Since temples are dirty and don't trust the temple because dirty Moors and all that stuff, we're not with them because we have a sign that says Moor Science Temple of America. That means that we're with the traitors who call themselves Moor Science Temple of America. No, it doesn't mean that. And like we said earlier, all of this is to get you to not recognize your prophet Nobu Juali. That's what all this is for. All this is for to keep Nobu Juali out of circulation. And if they bring him up, they're going to bring him up in some type of placation to make you think, oh, well, they said his name, so that means they honor him. No, they don't. They don't honor him. They call themselves Hayes. They call themselves Young Elder. How they call themselves Young Elder? How they call themselves titles? What's your name? Yeah, King. What do you mean? What's your name? My name is King. King what? King nothing? Just King? That's it? No pedigree attached to King? You're just King. We're just God. I'm God. Really? Really, God? Let's see how far they go with this BS.
Decide to step up, speak up, put this shit in the public domain, and tell y'all how to find it. Watch what we do. When we organize peacefully, right? and we start to congregate, they're going to come in with bullshit in the comments. They don't have anything to do with nothing you're talking about. Right? They going to be the lowest ranked motherfuckers, but they swear they know the most shit.
How Moors the lowest rank when Juali been told us in the 20s that we're on the high road watching all you sellouts on the low road. Right now. Since the 20s. Since the 20s until right now, Moors are still with Juali on the high road looking at these jokers on the low road that people call their leaders. The hashtag leaders. This is what you people got now. This is what you're left with. Hashtag leaders. Just like young boys, what they're left with, what young boys are left with today is a trans girl. That's their options when they go to the club. That's their options. Because any sentient being probably not going to be in the club. More than likely, they're not going to be in the club. They're home studying, they're taking care of their family or something like that. They're not pawning their offspring off on somebody else so they can go to the club. Sentient beings wouldn't do that. But those are the options. Your option when you go to the club now is a tranny girl. That's your option. There's no girls there. Tranny girls, that's it. Everywhere you look, just go outside right now, go look. I bet you see a tranny. Bet you. Bet you seen a tranny in the past week. When was the last time you seen a Moor? And we're not talking about people who are around Moors. We're talking about people who go outside and do stuff. Tell me the last time you seen a Moor, and tell me the last time you seen a tranny. That's your option. And then you're debating Moors so you can go out to the club and go to the whatever where the trannies are at. That's how it is. When we're telling you Nobu Juali, which is the organic, which is the woman, the female that has a womb and all that stuff. Right? Has a womb and all that. Right? Matriarch. You like talk about Big Mama and all that stuff, and all they keep doing is pushing patriarchy on you. Where's this Big Mama at? How come we can say our Big Mama, Mother Roz spoke. We could say our Big Mama, Annie L spoke. We could say our Big Mama, Nika L spoke. We could say our Big Mama, Empress of 50 million years spoke. We could say our Big Mama, Kadira Bey spoke. We could say our Big Mama, you name them. That's a matriarch in the Moorish movement that's been active. We can call them out. And show you receipts of our Big Mamas telling you what's up. These people with Big Mamas invisible. And then you're giving them 50,000 views. And you're looking at the Moors who are out here sacrificing and all that stuff. Their YouTube getting shut down because they're standing up for rights and all that. They can't even open their Cash App in order to take out the whatever funds are in there for them to feed their family that people donated. That's not terrorist funds or nothing like that. That's people gave them donations. They can't get it because these people said, we're not letting you get it. And then you're talking about, well, they're sovereign and they're the... This is why we just throw them all, we're going to throw them all on the burning pile. All of them. You already see, when last you see a live from House of Ram? Allah got them. You're on the burning pile right now. Slow your roll. Stop uploading BS. Go sit down somewhere and run a church. Don't try to play like you're Moors doing Moorish stuff when you're doing nothing but causing confusion. And then here goes some more coming up tonight, causing confusion. Because they got Rod Hayes, and Brother Rich had Rod Hayes, and House of Reawakening Minds had Rod Hayes, and Young Elder had Rod Hayes, and he must be the guy right now for us to... He's the guy nothing. He's the guy nothing. The author of confusion. You know who that is, right? It's the devil, isn't he? Isn't the author of confusion the lower self?
Right? And then they're going to run up on motherfuckers with knowledge and get that shit bust upside the head. Yeah. Them the dirty Moors. Remember, it was Fezzes against Feathers. So in order for us to win, the Feathers got to beat the Fezzes.
Now, the Feathers got to beat the Fezzes, right? The Feathers got to beat the Fezzes. But look who's wearing the feathers. The Pope of the Roman Catholic Church and the Holy See and all that raped and pillaged mothers, children, land, and everything else. Look who's wearing the damn feathers. Look who's wearing the feathers. Why do you think they can talk crazy that, oh yeah, we shut this down or whatever? Because they're it. The Pope is wearing their stuff. Don't you not see the Pope taking the authority from their wards? Taking the authority in their face while they're meeting at the place where the graves are at that they murdered their ancestors. Murdered their ancestors. And they're going up there giving feathers to the Pope. And Pope's accepting them. Which is what the Moors been talking about all day, that it's about contracts. All day, as the Moors been talking about since 9 a.m. this morning. Still talking about contracts. Man, nobody's not going to see that because everybody's busy looking at Rod Hayes and Ben Calloway and all the indigenous whoever's and all the whoever's that are stateless and all the whoever's that are black, Negro colored. We'll listen to all of them. But when Moore's talking here, that's why Juali told Moore since the 20s. Only a handful saved. We ain't worried about these people. The ark's going to be empty. Just us and the animals and the plant life. Ark's going to be empty. Only those on the high road are going to be on it. You see the Pope wearing the indigenous headdress? This is their stuff, right? Isn't this the same side that Rod Hayes is on, the feathers? You don't see the Pope wearing it? You miss something? You miss something? And this is what the Apitawakisian Indians are saying about the headdress. This is not what Moors are saying. This is what the Indians are saying. For the most part, headdresses are restricted items. In particular, the headdress worn by most non-natives imitate those worn by various Plains nations. These headdresses are further restricted within the cultures to men who have done certain things to earn them. It is very rare for women in Plains cultures to wear these headdresses, and their ability to do so is again quite restricted. Patriarchy, adeptus chamber BS that they're pulling on you. When you go check all the indigenous cultures, the women were wearing these. When you go check the indigenous whoever's, the women were wearing these. Why are they wearing these? Why they wearing the feathers? How come they're not wearing feathers? According to Rod Hayes and them. But everybody knows that the clan mothers, they were the real heads. It wasn't the chiefs. Everybody knows this, right? Right? Everybody knows the chiefs didn't run jack. It was the elder mothers in the background that were running everything. I hope you know this about Aboriginal and indigenous culture. That it wasn't about the chief guy. It wasn't about the Pope. It was about the female Pope in the back. The Black Madonna. The ones who are wearing the feathers are for the patriarchy. The ones who are wearing the feathers are the ones that sold out the hiding spot to make the Pope come and rape your children in their residential schools. The feathers side, we're going with the whole thing of the Fezzes versus the feathers. Moors are the Fezzes. We don't care what anybody says. I don't care what they bring up as the history of the Moors. F them. We're repping for Fezzes. I don't care what type of history you're bringing up about Fezzes. I don't give a what. Moors, we're on the side of Fezzes. We don't play feathers. Forget the feathers BS. Only individual that had a feather was Nobu Juali. Go check the pictures. You know, everybody playing around with feathers. Because even that's something sacred that they shit on. Now anybody has feathers now. Any Tom, Dick, and Harry could tell you feathers, and then you're running with them as they're the indigenous people. When indigenous people wore fezzes. Indigenous people wore fezzes. Fezzes were worn. Fezzes. Fezzes already won. They're playing you out to the other side. Fezzes won already. There's no between the feathers and the fezzes. Fezzes already won when Juali came in the 1920s. And again, it was the Moors again. It was the Moors again. Because what? The first U.S. treaty with an American Indian tribe is ratified 1778. That's the first. And 1778, that means United States is new. United States is a baby, just came out the womb, still on its back, shitting on itself. And then these dumbass Indians went and did treaties with the newborn. Instead of going to the parent and doing the contracts again. They're sitting there, holding up the legs or whatever like that. You are just pissing in their face or whatever, not recognizing any treaty that they claim that they got with U.S. and all that stuff. They're getting shit on and all that vomited on. And they're standing there. Instead of going and getting the parent. What do you mean getting the parent? Oh, well, let's just go ask the embassy of Morocco. The embassy of the Kingdom of Morocco. Not the Kingdom of Moorish Americans. The Kingdom of Morocco. Not the Kingdom of Moorish Americans. Not the Kingdom of Nobu Juali. This is with regard to relations in the United States, as they call it. Which, remember, 1778 is new. Just came out the womb. Just came out the womb. Eyes not even working right yet. Don't even know what the hell to do with yourself. You're just crying. For nothing. Just came out the womb. Baby's kid. The Kingdom of Morocco and the United States of America are bound by a special and old alliance dating back to 1777, when Morocco became the first country to formally recognize the newly independent United States. 1786, Morocco and the United States of America signed a treaty of friendship that is still in force, making it the longest standing unbroken treaty in U.S. history. Wouldn't that mean the Fezzes won? If the Indian whoever's, who aren't Moors, are claiming the authority of Turtle Island and all that, why is the U.S. breaking every treaty that they're complaining about? It's not like they're not complaining that these people are violating all the treaties that they made with them. But then the treaty with Morocco is the longest standing treaty between the United States and anybody? Wouldn't the logical move for the feathers be to go on the side of the Fezzes? How come they're not going on the side of the Fezzes? Oh, because they're a sellout nigger, that's why. Because they're a traitor and they're here to cause confusion. They don't want unity. Unity is going to be when you recognize who you are and you gravitate with people who are on your frequency and vibration. Other than that, you're not getting unity. That's not opinion. That's fact. And you can go to the last 11 years of Nobu Juali days that's documented on YouTube to show you that Moors all over the world recognize Nobu Juali. Masons recognize Nobu Juali. Europeans recognize Nobu Juali as the foundation of the salvation of the niggers in America. That's unity. There's no debating. It's your own that sold you out. Now, they sold you out as boule and black guys and Masons and all that stuff. Now, the new boule sellout people are the Indian black guys. The Indian don't have a nationality. They're not going to recognize the Moroccan flag as something over here because their grandma who ate pork and chitterlings told them that they're Indians. Their pork grandma. Our pork grandma told us that we're Indians too. But we ain't Indians, we're Moors. He's an Indian. The longest standing treaty is not between the indigenous and the United States. It's between Morocco and the United States. Why? Why is that why shouldn't the indigenous thing be the longest thing? Now, use your common sense. Now, come on now. Are you going to keep being in the emotionalism of these nigger Moor hater people? Or are you going to look at the facts? We already know you're not going to look at the facts. You're going to be chasing these people because we've been telling people for 10 years, watch out for the sellout. And sellouts are still around here. So obviously the people are dumb. Obviously. Obviously they're dumb. One or two of them whose circuitry in their brain is working, lights will be going off right now, and they probably already sent the email or they already sent the DMs. Hey, I was watching the live. Woo! What the hell were you talking about? Everything made absolute sense. Yes, of course it makes sense because it's the truth. That's the truth. To lie about something. What are we lying about? The Moors already won. We're sitting back waiting for you dumb niggers to get on the boat that left the dock. Instead, you're on the trail that's gone off the rails. Then you're complaining about somebody did something when you should have just been on the boat. What the hell are you talking about? Who told you not to take the boat with the Moors, where the Moors are won? Who told you not to take it? Somebody? European? Convinced you of that? You love the patriarchs.
They a different group of people altogether, and they're not from here. So they can't stay. Had they won the war between the Fezzes and the Feathers, then they would have won and took over everything. And we would have forever been their slaves. I didn't feel like being nobody's slave for the rest of eternity. So I decided to step up, speak up, put this shit in the public domain, and tell y'all how to find it. Watch what we do. When we organize peacefully, right, and we start to congregate, they're going to come in with bullshit in the comments. They don't have anything to do with nothing you're talking about. Right? They going to be the lowest ranked motherfuckers, but they swear they know the most shit. Right? And then they're going to run up on motherfuckers with knowledge and get that shit bust upside the head. Yeah. Them the dirty Moors. Remember, it was Fezzes against Feathers. So in order for us to win, the Feathers got to beat the Fezzes. Right? And how do you do that? The Feathers have to seize a Fez. These are the ones we call the righteous Moors. Because they're fighting in the cause of righteousness in the middle of a dogmatic doctrine that was created to be dogmatic on purpose, because when you...
What dogmatic doctrine? What do you mean the Moors have a dogmatic doctrine? What do you mean the Moors have a dogmatic doctrine? What's that mean? Tell me if this is a dogmatic doctrine. You stop figuring out your way. Your salvation shall come. Just follow me. You can say one thing, Moors. You have made a start for the kingdom. If you want success, you must follow the prophet. Husbands, take care of your wives and families. Wives, keep your homes and children clean. I have done more than you think. I want you all to help me by your good deeds of living at home and abroad. It is through your good work, not your lips, trying to be in the front seat in everything, always standing in my face. Moors, be careful of your steps. Leaders of temples must be careful how they walk. They must be an example. I am not asleep. It will take you Moors a long time to find out what I did today. When you all go home, don't start no stuff, or I will be right there listening at you. That sound like some religious dogma to you? That sound like religion to you? If that sounds like religion to you, go jump on the heaping pile before we throw you off the cliff. Make it easy on yourself. Just go jump in the fire with all the traders and the sellouts and them too. Just go jump in the fire. Because we're not throwing you in the fire. We're throwing you off the cliff if we hold you. If we get our hands on you people, you're going off the cliff. Because there's no time for conversations anymore, because you've been disrespecting Nobu Juali for years. You've been disrespecting the Moroccan flag for years. You've been disrespecting Moorish nationality for years, riding with SPLC and ADL and all the propaganda machine people. Talking BS about Moors. Talking BS about Moors. Lying on Nobu Juali. Just so these people don't know who their prophet are. Who their prophet is. There's some sellouts. And then they're going to bring him up like they're down with him, but they don't have El Bay or nothing like that. They don't even say Ali. They don't even do that. They have nothing. No free national name. How they have no free national name? And we're taking them as if they're dropping some jewels. 9 o'clock, we're going to be dropping jewels with stateless people. Come and listen to Stateless, and then here go the zombies. Remember, we're not here for everybody. We already know it's only going to be a handful saved. We are not expecting some tidal wave of people coming into nationality and birthrights. It ain't happening. We're on the high road. We just stuck our head out the veil to pick up 2 people who realize that this is some BS. Time to evolve. Many are called, chosen are few. Who the cap fit won't wear it. Because they're a sellout. We're doing all this stuff to get 2 people. 2 mores to wake up. Because half of you people, 3/4 of you people, you don't have the longevity. You're done. You're done after 2 minutes, you're done. Can't even read a book cover to cover. You can't get through the introduction. You talk about you want to be Moors. You want to be secured party creditor. You can't read a book from cover to cover. All you're looking at is graphs and all this type of BS. Algorithms. Well, see, the algorithm of the hell out of here. The hell out of here. People are sellouts. Only those who are vibrating on this frequency, Super Saiyan, only Super Saiyans recognize Super Saiyans. Negro, the conscious guy, they're playing games with you. They're playing games with you. So should I invest in the stock market? You're the stock market. You're the stock market. You're the product. You're the stock. There ain't no stock market without you being dumb nigger. As soon as you stop being dumb nigger, there's no stock market. Why? Because then all these people are going to have to go home. And then mountains of gold will be revealed to the Moors. And you don't need the stock market for everybody. If everybody could live good, what we need stock market for? If everybody knows that they're Moors, and then mountains of gold is revealed, you think you got issues? You think you're worried about work tomorrow? I gotta go tomorrow because you're gonna have finance and you're gonna work because you're working for your nation, just like everybody else. So anything about stocks and bonds, you better look those up in a law dictionary before you start talking about investing anything. Don't invest anything, especially in some crypto world or whatever. Invest in yourself. You got family? You got children? Invest in them. Invest in them in some tutor something. Teach them something. Teach them something. Don't let them go be dumb nigger. You better get them to get their mind right now. You want to invest in something. You tell me investing in something that's not going to yield you anything than couple years. Couple years, that's it. Couple years? That's it. You're playing yourself, just letting you know. Right? While you're the rat in the maze running around, We're not in the maze. We know the truth about our nationality and birthrights like everybody else in the world. And their life is pretty all right. Their life is actually all right. You're not complaining. And if there's an issue, they unify, march into the presidential palace, and bathe in the president's pool for a couple hours, and then they had a good day. They had a great 5 years if they got to do that. One day, they gained 5 years. That's how they stay young. Look at you, life expectancy, 50. Because you want to do BS. But don't we use the products? YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, they're making a profit from our streams and views, so why not take advantage of these profits? Just asking. Profits is PROPHET. That's profit. PROFIT, that's an illusion. That's a fiction. That's like saying black. That's like saying I'm from some Indian tribe and I got rights. But all the treaties been violated that you claim you got your rights on, your rights are housed. Obviously you have no rights. That's what, when you say profit, your mindset is thinking money and the credit and that's all fiction. There's no such, we tell people the lesson that the master teacher said, right? I'm going to give you 3 buckets. And we want you to put credit in one of the buckets. We want you to put debit in one of the buckets. Right? Like take the thing from the account and put it in the bucket. Right? I want you to put currency in the bucket. And if we walk over and then there's nothing in the buckets, obviously you're talking BS. It's a fiction. The real profit is PROPHET. That's the real profit. There's no other profit than that. Until you have that profit, you ain't having any other profit. This is why it's more science. This is not our opinion. This is not how we feel about something. We're telling you what it is because we're more scientists. We're scientists because we experimented. An experiment was successful, so we implemented. Like we implemented what we're talking about. This isn't just saying some stuff to try to get you to get views or whatever. This is to get you out of mental slavery that you have right now. That we know you have right now. Because Juali told us that we have mental slavery. We didn't believe him either. Till you start studying, you realize, God damn, I'm a mental slave. And once you could accept the fact that you're a slave to your lower self, then the process of evolution is start so you can have a revolution. You can't revolve without evolving. Because revolving is the process. So the revolution is not going to be televised because you're it. The revolution is in motion as you evolve. If you're not revolving and you're stagnant, then you're food. It's called stock market. And then you're looking at numbers and you're thinking about some guy has some account with whatever like that, and now it's all your children's grandchildren's whatever that they ate. That's the currency. The currency is all the babies that the Pope gets to sleep next to in the nighttime to suck the energy so he could be 5 million years old, and your life expectancy is 30. Your life expectancy is 15 because you just shot somebody in the face, and then the 13-year-old retaliated, shot you in the face. All because Profit. But if they're Prophet, then they would have the lessons that the young men and the young women get when they know that they're Moors, because their parents know that they're Moors. But you didn't want that. So now, take your 10-year-old getting pregnant or whatever like that from uncle whoever. Because you wanted to play games. Don't get mad. Recognize that you followed traders. Because once your conditions suck and you've been supporting something and your conditions suck, then you have to start looking at who's putting you on. You got to start checking these people who say that they're the gurus of the whatever like that. And they're telling you enforce some treaties that they can't even enforce treaties. They're stateless. And these gurus never told you about Nobu Juali. And these gurus never told you about your nationality and your birthrights, that you're Moors. Talk about feathers versus fezzes. As if there's a versus. This is a versus. What do you mean versus? Versus? What do you mean Locks versus Dipset? What do you mean versus? The hell do you mean versus? How is that a versus? You know versus. Ain't no versus. Just like how Locke sent Jade out and Jade just murdered everybody. Same thing that the Moors do. We just find one more. We just pick a Moor from anywhere in the world. Oh yeah, that Moor. Get him. How does Moors rip all these people? Played you. Keep playing you. Don't be the dumbasses getting played.
They
Don't be
a
them.
different group of people all together and they're not from here. So they can't stay. Had they won the war between the Fezzes and the Feathers, then they would have won and took over everything. And we would have forever been their slaves. I didn't feel like being nobody's slave for the rest of eternity. So I decided to step up, speak up, put this shit in the public domain, and tell y'all how to find it. Watch what we do. When we organize peacefully, right, and we start to congregate, they're going to come in with bullshit in the comments. They don't have anything to do with nothing you're talking about. Right? They're going to be the lowest ranked motherfuckers, but they swear they know the most shit. Right? And then they're going to run up on motherfuckers with knowledge and get that shit bust upside the head. Them the dirty Moors. Remember, it was Fezzes against Feathers. So in order for us to win, the Feathers got to beat the Fezzes. Right? And how do you do that? The Feathers have to seize a Fez. These are the ones we call the righteous Moors. Because they're fighting in the cause of righteousness in the middle of a dogmatic doctrine that was created to be dogmatic on purpose, because when you get caught in the dogma, you forget about the lingo from the land. The wind talkers are the chief. Mm-hmm. And when Nobu Juali put it on the record that he was a high chief, I know anything that he writes is going to be heavily coded. And if you don't know the lingo, you're not going to be able to decode it.
Where's that? Where's that at? Where Nobu Juali said he's a high chief? I want to see that. That's what we want Rod Hayes to show. Show where in the Moorish literature that it says Nobu Juali is a high chief. Present that. Or you're full of BS.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right? So, when we talk about dirty Moors, we're not talking about all Moors. Because some of the modern Moors, I call them, is us, who went in to have a knowledge fight with the dirty Moors. And they won. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm.
The dirty Moors didn't win. Dirty Moors killed Nobu Juali and got him out the way. So that they can be in the seat right now telling you all this BS like these people are telling you. Free Larry Hoover. You never said free Moorish militia once. You tell me about free some Larry Hoover, free Chief Malik and all that. And you never say free Rise of the Moors once. Not about freeing anybody. People are playing you. Feathers became the Moors. Feathers became the Moors. These aren't lodges. There's a Fez lodge, and then the Feathers lodge, and then the Feathers against the Fezzes, because in the oral history of there ain't none of that. That's BS. Fez is a national headwear of the Moors. Like that's not a club. That's not a longhouse. It's a headwear. And for some people, it's a national headwear. Just like their feathers is a war bonnet, and only men wear it because these people are patriarchal and they have no honor for mother. They could care less about mother. They're just going to use mother. And they're going to be the meat in the middle. We'll just watch 9 p.m. They're going to be the meat in the middle of people who always showing you cleavage and showing you camel toes. And they're always showing you camel toes. They're Moors. They're Moors. They're the ones. Toxic baby mothers are the matriarchs that we're supposed to be following. And then when we start telling, oh yeah, when we start telling the mothers, when we start getting the mothers to give them these ones. No. Honest to all the Moors worldwide. Honest to the Prophet, Nobu Juali. Drop the world on them. Drop the world on them.